I don't like the sable, pure sable, it's mushy. But I know people like the sable. It's very expensive too for, you know, mush. I like this crisp edge. Here is her reflected light. That's a weird one. Don't think too hard. I mean, you could say, well, I don't like that, but sometimes some of the most interesting details are those weird details that nobody's really aware of. So, here's her t-shirt. I don't like that. If I don't like something, I try to just put something next to it to change it. Now her hand is pretty significant shape. You gotta slow down. So she's got one very I don't want that red.
What color did you use on her skin?
I used cerulean blue, rosemary genuine, new gamboas, and burnt sienna.
Is she a woman of color?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Danielle Smith guy, did he say whether they were going to start making new gamboge?
Who?
The guy that owns the pigments.
Yeah, this is a Daniel Smith new gamboge. It's just really, really strong.
And so even diluting it down doesn't make it the same? Still
Well,
different.
I'm just so used to it. I'm sold on that old paint, you know. But if you want to sell me a tube and you got one, take it.
You know, if you check enough art stores, you might find one that still has some in stock.
Well, I cleaned them out in Fargo. But they don't even have the store anymore. But
You missed it?
it's kind of, what, the store, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was great, like for my canvases, I'd go in there and say, I'm gonna paint this picture, I want this, and I'd look at the canvas I wanted for my painting, and buy it. And if you buy canvas, you wanna get a reasonable price for it, they always had it on sale. If you gotta buy 6 of them. The first time I bought canvas, I ordered 6 in 3 different sizes, and when it comes back to me, it's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna put all this. It's not like 25 sheets of watercolor paper you can stack up. It's this massive thing.
Does she have sunglasses on?
That one doesn't. First, this one with the mint ice cream cone has glasses. They're very interesting because they're reflecting her mint ice cream. Ooh. Yeah, this is a little darker tone than you normally do for skin, so you have to adjust. It's always a rounded shape. You have to be careful these don't collapse. They round out. It's called an out curve. And when you're painting the figure, you need to look for out curves in. Even if it comes in, it still has a bump out. So, really important to look at the picture. not paint what I think I know or what I drew in. Now, I couldn't do her arm here because this is wet, so I would go around it. So I can go to Ice Cream Gal with glasses. And so, this is very interesting in the light there. But, so here, she's close to the center with the paper. Which is the center, people go near the center. There was a study when I was in high school, we had to watch, we had a marketing class. In high school, marketing. Anyhow, they talked about how there's this ideal place on the TV screen that people like to look, and it was off-center. And they put a little thingy where people watch it, they would read their eye movement, and it would always go off-center. And what they do is they show something really interesting there, and then they would stick this product there next. I'm losing color, but now I'm sculpting around her ice cream cone. What is that? Does that mean?
It's a door. It's a door.
What door?
Don't you back door squeeze. Just leave it.
Don't let them in.
It's like, I wonder if there's cooking oil in the kitchen.
What, you gonna put that on it?
I was thinking about it, it's driving me crazy. Think it would work?
Maybe.
Probably gum it up good.
Here, just what do you know? You don't know what's here, but there's something. And it's a line again, so don't get lazy.
And you're doing your whole painting with a flat brush. The
Love-
same flat brush?
I have a smaller one right now.
Okay,
I shrunk for more control,
that's good.
but I'm still not holding on really tight. Let's see that. Let's get that. It's a very weird looking nose on this picture. And her eyeball is like sticking through the glasses. But I drew this on here, it looks like a doggy or something. I'm not saying she looks like a dog, okay? I'm just saying the shadow is very unique. You can see how I painted this. I think I made her ice cream cone bigger to cover up part of this. So when you mix on the paper, you get more color than if you mix in the palette, because it's not all stirred together here. It goes on flat in one dull color, and you can have all this beautiful color, and you put it up on your painting. You go, what happened? It looks horrible. And that's just the reality of mixing color. So with the watercolor,
Very nice.
just keep changing.
Oh, yeah. Developing very nice. Do you
Thank
work
you.
with a lot of acrylic too, or just strictly watercolor?
I worked with acrylic. I had a 5 vertebrae in my neck, wired and stretched, cut and hinged together in 2009. Yeah, I was supposed to teach a workshop at the Minnesota Watercolor Society, and it was kind of, you know how you say, get in the habit of saying stupid stuff? Maybe you never say anything stupid. But we were joking, my husband would call, he said, you should do a painting, well, you know, I was on these horrible pain meds, but for your drug period. And then we joked that we called them drugs, that I was on drugs, you know. I had to cancel my workshop. I had a workshop with them, and so I canceled beforehand, rescheduled. Apparently they sent me a new contract while I was on drugs. I don't remember getting it. And then I got this email like 2 weeks before, and it said, the artist that's supposed to do the workshop didn't sign her contract. And then I called the lady up. I said, I'm going to do the workshop. And she said, well, you didn't sign your contract. I said, well, I was on drugs. We're not having you. No. I've been with this pain meds. Well, that doesn't sound very good either. No. But it was like 6 weeks. It was before I did some weird crap on that stuff. I accused someone of moving a big bobcat with a car to call my husband at the office, and they came out to see what it was. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But, okay, I think that's a very interesting shape.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need in painting. Painters are shape makers. Now, this is all very dangerous. Danger, because it's wet and dark, and all I have to do is, so this is get out of here. Go away from that. So you gotta go somewhere else. So that's a big deal right there. That's it. Now this gal, I love this gal. I want to do her so bad. This is the one that I'm just fascinated with, the shadow of her in the white building. So she became extremely cool, and then I drew her in, and I made her too short, so I had to add legs to her. So I think I got her legs up. Okay, where did she go? Here she is. Let's see if I can get her.
How heavy pencil drawing would you say you do? Kind of heavy or really light? It disappears.
I draw boldly. With the pencil. I use a number 2. I sometimes erase some of it if it gets too dark. And I do part of my painting, maybe one day I'll just sit here and erase pencil lines and stare before I start. I have had trouble with pencil lines, getting them off. You can use an oil brush where you get a lot of them. I like drawing with a watercolor pencil, because like if you're doing a big flower with a lot of petals, you can kind of scrub it out while you're in there, but you have that information while you need it, and you can just kind of hit it with a brush and get rid of it. So I think that's pretty handy to do that. Okay, let's do now, just because I did all those dark colors, I have to remember this is not that dark a gal, even though she's in the shadow. You gotta adjust that she is a brunette. So, see how I get this shape. I'm gonna leave that light. I know it's now her face, I might have to go. I see these blue tones.
Would it be all right with you, Ellen, if we did our peer voting and
that you could give you a couple more minutes to paint them.
Sure, go ahead. Here is some more shadow, but even in the shadow, there is the warm reflected light, so you need to look for that. People tell me I see colors that aren't there. I don't know if it's true. I did find out that people have totally different ways of reading color. Their eyes are different, especially if you're working with printers. You know, some people got it, and other people are just like, oh, get rid of that person. They're terrible.
I'm going to announce the winners for peer voting tonight. In the intermediate category, we have a tie for second place. Judy Harvey. Would Judy please stand up? And Barb will be taking photos of the winners in the back of the room. And also in second place, Margareta Beyer. And then first place is Jim Hippold. And again this month, I decided to give a first place in the advanced category, and that goes to Frank Ziller.